Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Viktor Frankl. In a constantly changing and fast-paced world like today's, anxiety has become a very familiar companion to many of us. We constantly battle against constant worry, fear, and uncertainty as we navigate the storms of life. What if there's a way to ease our anxiety and find inner peace? In this video we will explore the ancient wisdom of Stoicism and how its teachings can help us find calm amidst chaos. Stoicism is a philosophy that originated in ancient Greece and Rome, and its principles have stood the test of time, providing guidance and wisdom for nearly 2 millennia. At the core of Stoicism is the belief that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we react to them. By focusing on what is within our control, we can cultivate inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues are not only helpful in navigating life's challenges, but also essential for living a good and fulfilling life. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we learn to embrace the impermanence of life and the inevitability of change. This acceptance frees us from the grip of anxiety and allows us to embrace the present moment with gratitude and serenity. One of the most powerful ways Stoicism can help alleviate anxiety is by encouraging us to change our perspective. Instead of being swept away by the whirlwind of our thoughts and emotions, we can learn to take a step back and observe them objectively. By doing so, we realize that our anxiety often results from our perception of events rather than the events themselves. This insight allows us to reframe our thoughts and regain control over our emotional state. Now that we have a basic understanding of Stoicism and its potential to alleviate anxiety, let's delve into the minds of 3 famous Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These great thinkers have left behind a wealth of wisdom that continues to inspire and guide people to this day. Seneca was a Roman statesman, philosopher, and playwright who lived in the 1st century AD. His works such as Letters to Lucilius and On the Shortness of Life offer profound insights into the human condition and the art of living a meaningful life. Through his writings he teaches us to accept the uncertainties of life and focus on the cultivation of our inner virtues. Epictetus, on the other hand, lived after Christ and became one of the most influential historical thinkers. His teachings found in works like Discourses and Enchiridion emphasize the importance of understanding the difference between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus encourages us to accept life's uncertainties and focus on cultivating our inner virtues. Last but not least, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, is perhaps the most well-known Stoic. His book Meditation is a collection of personal reflections that offer a glimpse into a great leader facing the same human emotions and challenges we all face. Through his thoughts we will take a closer look at Stoicism. Today we will explore and analyze the top 10 historical quotes from these notable philosophers which have the power to alleviate anxiety and help us find peace in the chaos of life. The video will be a bit longer than usual, but staying until the end will be worth it. Be strong. But before we begin, if you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing and supporting us. This way you help us continue our work of bringing more valuable content to this space. Music. Lesson 1. We suffer more often in Imagination, then in reality, this is a powerful reminder of how our thoughts can amplify our suffering. Anxiety often arises from our minds, creating catastrophic scenarios and terrible outcomes, even though these imagined events rarely come true. In essence, our fear and worry are amplified by our imagination, leading to unnecessary suffering. To better understand this concept, let's consider how anxiety works when faced with uncertainty or a perceived threat. Our brains go into a heightened state of alert. This natural response is designed to protect us from dangers, but when our minds perceive threats that have no basis in reality, we get stuck in a cycle of fear and worry. Seneca's quote teaches us that by recognizing the role of our imagination in fueling anxiety, we must challenge ourselves and reframe our thoughts. Instead of being swept away by our fears, we can choose to focus on the present moment and the reality of our situation. By doing so, we expand our perspective and realize that our anxiety often stems from our minds rather than an accurate reflection of reality. Now that we understand this concept, let's apply this historical wisdom in our daily lives. We can practice mindfulness techniques such as meditation or deep breathing exercises to bring our awareness back to the present moment. As we become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can interrupt the cycle of worry and anxiety, thus reducing our mental suffering. Lesson 2: the Stoic is capable of experiencing pain but not suffering it. Epictetus reminds us that although physical and emotional pain is inevitable in life, our suffering is largely a choice. This may seem counterintuitive, but the idea behind this quote is that while we cannot completely avoid pain or life's difficulties, we can choose how we react to them. Often when we face pain or adversity, our initial reaction is to resist, fight, or lament. These natural reactions can intensify our suffering, prolonging our experience of pain. Stoicism teaches us to adopt a different approach. Instead of resisting pain, we can accept it as a natural part of life and learn not to suffer from it. The key to this shift in perspective lies in our internal control. While we cannot control external events, we can control our response to them. When we accept pain as an inevitable part of the human experience, we begin to free ourselves from the additional suffering we create through resistance and lamentation. A practical technique we can apply is called Stoic visualization. This involves imagining in advance scenarios of adversity and considering how we would react calmly and resiliently. By doing this, we prepare our minds to face challenges with a Stoic mindset, thereby reducing our suffering. Lesson 3: if you are distressed by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you but your own judgment about it. This quote from Marcus Aurelius reminds us that our judgments and perceptions can distort our experience of reality. Often we blame external events or other people for our anxiety, when in fact the root of the problem lies in our own way of interpreting these events. Our minds have significant power over how we experience the world. When we judge or label events as bad or unjust, we create a narrative that fuels our negative emotions. This narrative can be challenged and rewritten. To apply this lesson in our lives, we can begin to question our automatic judgments and assess whether they are based on solid facts or distorted perceptions. By challenging our own judgments, we can find more balanced and realistic ways to interpret events, thus reducing the anxiety they may generate. Lesson 4: he who is learning to know himself is not ashamed to take as his teacher a man of no learning. This quote from Epictetus highlights the importance of self-knowledge and the pursuit of inner peace. Often our thoughts and emotions are shaped by external influences such as the opinions of others or societal expectations. However, Stoicism encourages us to become our own masters, learning to know and control our minds. Self-knowledge involves the practice of self-reflection and self-assessment. We must examine our own values, beliefs, and emotional reactions to better understand who we are and why we react the way we do. By doing so, we can identify areas where we can improve and grow. A useful technique is to maintain a self-reflection journal where we record our thoughts and emotions daily. This helps us identify patterns in our behavior and understand our motivations. As we gain self-knowledge, we can make more conscious choices and align our actions with our values and goals, which in turn reduces anxiety related to uncertainty and inconsistency. Lesson 5: Never say to yourself, "I cannot do this," but rather, "I will not do this." This quote from Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of positive thinking and self-determination. Often, our anxiety is fueled by negative and self-limiting thoughts that tell us we are incapable of overcoming challenges or achieving our goals. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a mindset of determination and resilience. Instead of focusing on what we cannot do, we should focus on what we can do and plan positive actions to achieve our goals. This doesn't mean ignoring obstacles or challenges, but facing them with courage and perseverance. We can apply this lesson in our daily lives by practicing positive self-affirmation. Instead of telling ourselves that we are incapable, we should encourage ourselves to take steps toward our goals regardless of the difficulties that may arise. By doing so, we can cultivate a mindset of strength and resilience that reduces anxiety related to challenges and uncertainties. Lesson 6: Virtue is the only good. This statement from Seneca highlights the fundamental role of virtues in Stoic philosophy. For Stoics, true contentment and inner peace come from the constant practice of virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. The pursuit of virtues helps us live according to our highest values and cultivate a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. When we strive to be better people, we not only seek our own improvement but also positively contribute to the world around us. A practical way to apply this lesson is to set goals based on virtues rather than purely material or external objectives. Instead of seeking wealth, fame, or power, we can strive to be wiser, more courageous, just, and temperate in our daily actions. By doing so, we find a deeper source of contentment and reduce anxiety related to the constant pursuit of material achievements. Lesson 7: We do not belong to ourselves. Our mind and body belong to us. This quote from Seneca emphasizes the importance of recognizing that we do not have absolute control over the external world or the events that occur in it. However, we do have the power to control our own minds and bodies. This means that while we cannot avoid all challenges and adversities, we can choose how we respond to them. One way to apply this lesson is to adopt a mindfulness practice. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This allows us to make conscious decisions rather than impulsively react to situations. By focusing on what we can control, our own actions, attitudes, and responses, we reduce anxiety related to the desire to control what is beyond our reach. recognizing that we do not belong to external forces but that our minds and bodies are under our supervision can help us find a sense of inner peace and resilience in the face of life's uncertainties. Lesson 8: Happiness is achieved when you stop waiting for others to change and start changing yourself. This quote emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our own happiness. Often we expect others or external circumstances to make us happy, which can lead to anxiety when these expectations are not met. Stoicism teaches us to find happiness within ourselves rather than seeking it externally instead of depending on others. To change, we can choose how we react to people's actions and words. We can adopt a mindset of acceptance and compassion rather than becoming resentful or frustrated with others. By doing this, we release the control that others have over our happiness and become more self-sufficient in terms of emotional well-being. This reduces anxiety related to the uncertainty of human interactions and allows us to experience a more lasting sense of inner peace. Lesson 9: True wealth is not wanting more. This quote from Epictetus highlights the idea that true wealth is not in the accumulation of material possessions but in being content with what we already have. 10. Anxiety arises from the relentless pursuit of more, whether it's more money, possessions, or success. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate gratitude and contentment with what we have rather than constantly seeking more. This doesn't mean we shouldn't have goals or aspirations, but it means recognizing that our happiness does not solely depend on achieving those goals. We can apply this lesson in our daily lives by practicing gratitude regularly. Reflecting on the things we are grateful for helps us recognize and value the blessings we already have in our lives. This reduces anxiety related to the constant pursuit of more and allows us to experience a deeper sense of contentment. Lesson 10: You need not much, you need very little. This quote from Seneca highlights the idea that our needs are often simple and modest, and the relentless pursuit of more can lead to anxiety and excess. Stoicism encourages us to simplify our lives and focus on the essential instead of burdening ourselves with material desires. We can be content with less and direct our attention to what truly matters, such as relationships, health, and self-development. We can apply this lesson in our daily lives by practicing detachment from material goods, excessive consumerism, by making conscious choices about how we spend our time and resources. We can reduce anxiety related to financial concerns and the desire to accumulate more things. If you've made it to the end of this video, you are a dedicated person committed to learning and personal growth. The fact that you've watched until the end demonstrates your determination to absorb knowledge and apply it in your life. Keep seeking knowledge and working to become the best version of yourself. Remember that learning is a continuous and rewarding journey. Comment "I am a new version" to let us know you made it this far. In summary, Stoicism offers a practical approach to reducing anxiety and finding inner peace. By applying these lessons in our daily lives, we can learn to control our thoughts and emotions, accept pain and adversity with serenity, cultivate self-knowledge, set goals based on virtues, practice mindfulness, take responsibility for our own happiness, cultivate gratitude, simplify our lives, and value what truly matters. In doing so, we can live with less anxiety and experience a deeper sense of inner peace.